They don't do the serve. Actually, when they come here to get that underspin, they're gonna go around 4, 5, and maximum 6 around the ball. Then the ball is gonna go like. And when you do it very well, let's try to do it here. The ball is gonna almost stop in the table, which is ideal. Like then you know that you have enough spin, that the ball, like the other person when it needs to receive, is gonna receive short and kind of lock the game. That's what you want. When you serve like that, you're not serving to allow the opportunity to the other side to attack. You're serving to lock the game. Strategy is very important, and you're gonna do that especially when you don't know your opponent. You don't know what they can do. So you're gonna start to serve around the table, like choosing some areas to serve like that to see how they react. You see like how they go the technique to receive. If they're late, if they're on time, then you can say if they're a little bit late in the forehand. So you know they're gonna be late to attack. So you can start to change your serve a little bit. Serve a little bit more up, more side spin. So then if you receive the same way, that ball comes a little bit longer to you, come a little bit higher to you, then you can attack better the first top spin. So that always relates to strategy, right? So that's how we normally do those things. So when you don't know the person that you're playing against, you do that serve, under spin, lock the game. So then you're gonna see that there's a few responses that they can have, combined with how they go in the ball, how they go, if for example the guy is gonna receive the short serve you play there, short with underspin, and the guy goes like this, you know right away there's a problem in footwork, because they're stretching, all the weight is not balanced, it's just one leg, both legs are not there. So normally that person is going to be always late to that ball, starts with the stand-up position too high. So then that's when you start to think, okay, maybe can change a little bit top spin there, a little bit side spin there. If that person is too late, so they cannot flip with speed, if they try to put that ball on the table, that ball goes a little bit high. You don't need to get a ball that's come back to you too high. If it comes too high out, very good, you're going to finish your point. But if you calculate somebody receives to you that ball, and the ball bounces, in this side, a little bit high like this, if you go to take a trajectory from the top of the net and make a tangent and going up, it's like about this high here. It's an easy ball to attack. So that's how you start to, how can I say, put your strategies in place. Start from the serve, like just seeing how it is, or you're gonna serve a little bit to the back end. If the person goes a little bit with elbow high, you know that there's a problem there. So you can get like, we use that service, you know that that person is always pushed to you. It's not going to have like a, unless they go like a different, they put the shoulder down, elbow high, but the shoulder low, they're gonna attack. So that's one of the things that we're gonna talk about in our psychology part as well. It's like a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So when you see like that body language coming to you, you know the reactions that come. So there's a lot of training that comes just in paying attention to your opponent to see what it is. Because when you're playing, you're not talking. You need to analyze. You need to see what's going on, right? See how many things you can get just from one serve. That's a good start. Let's wait a little bit more, like until like Michelle says we're good.
When you have to analyze, so say, how do you store the things, slow down the game so you have time to think about it when you're playing? Let's say, for example, you are the one who serves, for example. How long can I just slow down to serve so that I have time to think?
Well, we have about 20 seconds to serve, right?
20 seconds?
Yeah. So when you pick up the ball, when the rally is done, you go pick up the ball, and then you come back to serve. So have about 20 seconds to serve. So like some umpires, like by rule, 20 seconds is what is allowed. Okay. If you slow down a little bit more, you can get even 30 without getting punished.
Yeah, people go wipe the hand.
But the thing is, the trick is, as soon as that point is over, in the way back to pick up the ball, or the other player is going to pick up ball, you need to do the analysis right there. You start there, you have like a lot of time. Actually, you have more idle time than playing time actually. Because when you start the point is going to be 4 or 5 seconds, 6 seconds. If it's a very long point, like 8, 9 seconds, then you're going to pick up the ball. Then you go. Count. How long do I have? Yeah, then you come. Oh yeah. Let's go.
With your hand on the table.
Yeah. Let's do everything we can. Take your time. And then you go. So, and I was a little bit fast. It takes longer. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You have a lot of time to get a lot of confidence and to lose your confidence. It go both ways. Like you have enough time.
So you don't actually need 20, 30 seconds.
No, you don't.
You can process this in like less than 2 seconds.
Yes, you can. The information you can process very fast. For example, let's do an exercise, very quick exercise. I'll make something here, and I'll give you like 2 seconds to analyze what I did. Right? Make sense? Okay. 1, 2. Now try to explain to me what you saw in 2 seconds. You're not going to be able to do that. That's what I'm saying. Our brain capacity of analyzing information is way faster than we can speak the information. We can transmit information. So that's why the whole time that we're on the table, we need to analyze. So it's make sure that when you can explain what you're analyzing, it means like that information is really sinking in your mind. Then you got what you were looking for. Because normally, you see like they say in school, right? If you can explain what the teacher is saying to you, you learned, right? If you can explain with your own words, that's what I'm saying. Like you see the information, but sometimes you don't see it. When you verbalize that information, you write down, and then you have your thoughts in line. That's very important for sports psychology. That's one of the tricks. Every time when you analyze a situation, just don't get it floating in your head. Put in your thoughts, structure, then you can understand what's going on. That's important. But we're going to talk more about it. We start? Okay, we're ready to start. So that's sports psychology for table tennis 101. So I'm going to tell you about a little bit about my experience as a high performance coach in those areas. My name is Marles Martins. I worked for high performance table tennis with different teams for over 25 years. So now we're here like to try to make sure that we can move on a little bit and take down some myth about sports psychology. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It's a lot of work, because the sports psychology is the one thing that you can do outside the table all day long if you want. You can train all day long outside the table. You don't need a table per se to be training. But let's start with sports psychology. Actually, what is psychology?
It's your mind.
Yeah, it's psychology. It's a science that studies the psyche, your mind. What is this sports psychology? Is all of that geared towards your sports or action sports to make sure you can have a better performance? So sports psychology was not very well known until like the 70s, and when or the Cold War in Russia is starting to go against US, and they start to prepare the players in different ways and start to get a different notion of this. Then they start with different technologies at this time. It was very clinical actually, with a lot of Gestalt therapy, a lot of different things, and a lot of experience. Your right hand talking to your left hand, and sometimes people, they're not prepared for those things. They're not structurally sound, so then they can have a reverse reaction, right? So, but then it starts to improve quite a bit, and today you have a very advanced systems in sports psychology. We can stay here, I can talk for 2 years about it or more without really getting anywhere with that. But what I'm going to do is like tell you why it's so important to have a very strong understanding of your psyche when you play table tennis. First of all, let's understand what is required for table tennis. Table tennis In '89, long time ago, they made one study to see which sports in the world would use more sensorial parts of your brain than just action, just the muscles and everything else, this skeletal structure, right? It means use more brain versus your body, right? They had, of course, like they include a lot of things. It's not surprising that chess came in first, right? It's like basically you need to have a lot of like physical condition enough to resist like those hours and longs of your chess match, but it's like 98% of mental power. And then comes the second sport in the world to use more mental power is table tennis. They got to a point they said it's going to be 61%. So that explains in a very short, let's say in a nutshell, why you have a player that's 100 like fit and strong and silent, and then on the other side you have a player that looks like he's not as fit, is not as capable or anything, and that guy beats the machine. Because if you go like a body against body, there's no, but that's how we justify, because table tennis is up here. 2/3 of the game is up here. So, and depends on the style that you play is even more. That's the thing. If you're a round player that you like to go more in the rallies, you might like to play like two or three balls ahead and see what's going to happen, calculating where you're going to place and change your rhythm and speed. You're not just serving, attacking and killing, so you're going to need to use more. Depends on your style, requires more. Okay, so table tennis. Beside that, NASA they wanted to promote the space travel program that they had. So what they did, so let's see what's hard to accomplish in the world. Let's see. They do, of course, being an astronaut, you need to be PhD in 3 or 4 different sciences, right? And be physically strong and so on. That was they got like that's to be an astronaut is one of the hardest things. It is the hardest thing to do in the world. The second is to be world champion table tennis. And the third, not now I guess, but the third was to be a president of a superpower nation. Now we're not going to go into politics, but that was the result of their research. So table tennis, to be a world champion, requires more preparation for a human being, just less than being an astronaut. That's it. So you cannot be a world champion table tennis by accident. You got to know what you're doing. There's no accidents. Believe me, to have like results, when you have a result, a solid result, is not accident. It's not luck. Okay? So now let's talk about, if I know that table tennis uses that much power for my capacity, so is that important to train technique? Yes, very important. Why? Because when you're playing here, you should disconnect everything that you're thinking about, your body motion, and just pay attention to the game. You need to imagine yourself like you're playing a video game, right? You're just checking the screen there, and you're doing everything. So your brain is the commander. Your body is just like that kind of avatar that you see in the television. That's very important. Because if you are playing and you miss the ball in the forehand here, for example, and then you stop and say, you see that a lot. I did wrong, I need to correct. When I do that, where is my concentration now? We're going to talk about concentration, but where's my concentration now? In my arm, it's in me. But where's the game going? And what the other guy is doing there? That's what I need to prepare to. What is my opponent doing? If I'm concerned about me, there's whatever he does there, I'm not going to follow. So it doesn't matter if I fix my forehand. I'm not winning this game to start with. So when you are well prepared for a game, for a competition, you don't think about technique. You just think about the strategy, tactics. You just analyze. That's when you're ready. That's why your preparation before a tournament, for example, is very important. Because you make the preparation, in such a way that you don't need to pay attention to your body. You already know your limitation. You already know like how many balls you play in the forehand without missing. You know like if your technique is good or not. If you go to the competition thinking about to change how you do your, that's game over. You are too far. That's not how. You understand what I mean? So, we need to have a good technique, a good physical condition. We need to, but that's secondary. And when you go to play your tournament, that you have a goal, because when you want to improve your mental aspects, is to play a better competition normally. So when you go there to that competition to play there, so you should not think anymore about the machine. You just need to think about how to elevate here. That's the strategy. Make sense? So, oh, but I still have problems in my backhand. Is do the best as you can to get there in the competition. Over here, like players saying, "Oh, the guy's in the zone," or the guy's in he's like in flux. He's like in that zone that he sees everything. He's performing well, and so. But that's where we want to be. So that zone is very important for us. If you are too excited, you cannot control very well your actions. Especially if you're too excited, your brain is sending a lot of electrical signals to your muscles. Try to receive short when you're excited. Try to receive try to serve short. That ball is going to go long. And that's another point now. If you know like you are too tense, too excited, in the end of the game, like he's like 10-10, you know that's going to happen. You know what? Embrace it. You're not going to be able to serve short and wait for that ball to come short to lock the game. Then serve the damn thing long and get ready for something that's going to happen. Don't try to I see a lot of players that they're tense, and then I'm going to play short. And then they go there and they trust they're going to play short, but it's so tense. The electrical signals are going so strong that a little flick and movement, a little contraction in muscle, that ball goes long. And he's waiting for that short ball because he's going to go inside, he's going to flip, he's going to do something. That ball goes long, and now he needs to block. And it's game over. He's out of the strategy. So if you know that something like that is going to happen, go long and wait for the reactions. Really, one of the best trainings that you can have for mental aspects to be prepared is studying probabilities. Where the ball is going to come, statistics. That's a very important training. If I play that ball at that speed there, where is the ball going to come back to me? So if I play, it's very simple. There's a book, I think you guys can access this book. It's Train to Win, Michel Gadal, I guess. He was one of the national coaches here in Canada. He made a lot of discoveries working with psychology students, actually. Sports psychology students in CEP in Paris, where all major sports, they train together. So one of the things is like, he discovered when you play a very good quality ball here, forehand, cross, for example, low ball quality, bounce in the end, and so on, 95% of those balls, they come in a 30-degree angle. They come back cross. If you play that cross, a hard ball is going to come cross. It's very hard to change there. And when you change here, somebody changes, because the intensity is so high there, they go with care. Because they don't want to miss the table. They slow down here. After the game, you don't know where the ball is coming. So that's slowly you need to make the transition. How I do it? 1 or 2 balls here, 1 here. So maybe you don't know the second ball. It trains your brain to change the focus from here to the other side. Right? So, and then finally you're going to have half table. Then you have like full table free, and then you're ready for more and more game experience. But why I'm saying that? I'm saying that because you need to be in your zone. When your zone, your comfort zone for playing is here, your performance. Let's say something like this. If talking about your body, if I'm standing here relaxed, my heart rate is going to be maybe 70, maybe 80. I'm not activated. I'm like in resting position. If I take your heart rates right now, you're in resting position. You're not activated to play. But if I go to the extreme, if it's like 150, it's too high. I'm too activated. So I need to be in my aerobic platform. That's going to be 110 to 130. And then when I pick up the ball, because that's involved as well with the mental aspect. When I'm going to pick up the balls there and come here, you see all the players there. Why did you do that? If the heartbeat was too high, they need to go in the zone. Drop it. Then they jog a little bit. If it's too low, then this is gonna make it go up. So then you are in that zone. And mentally is the same thing. You're too excited. You need to calm down. How? Normally, breathing exercise. You see a lot of players, they do that. Like they stop, something happens, so when they stop, they know what they're doing. Centering again. Trying to come back to where they need to be, and then they go there. Okay, activate, zone, centered, let's go. And when you're too depressed, not activated, you cannot perform well. So, and you're gonna see there's people that understand this in the game, and they do it on purpose. You're gonna play with somebody that's gonna go pick up the ball, and the person itself is gonna walk like this. Stop and hit, and you're there, like start to get nervous because the guy doesn't do it, and you're like, oh, come on, man. And then you're gonna look to the umpire. The umpire is not saying, and the guy, and it's just excruciating. But what he's doing is he's trying to get you from your performance zone and take you down to his. In his level, in his performance, he's better than you. You need to stay in your zone. In each one of us, we have our different zones. You need to find the one that makes you comfortable. How do I know? If I'm taking too many decisions without thinking too much, I'm losing, like I'm out of air or something like that. I'm like not thinking properly. I'm going too much. I'm too excited. Slow down. Slow down. But the opposite is true. If I'm not like being aggressive enough, I'm not taking the initiative, I'm not doing anything because I'm too, let's say, depressed. I'm not really, but then you need to go up. It's very clear when you see, for example, top players, they playing against defensive players, choppers. And the chopper guy, if you go there and see the heart rate, it's very high. And the guy is moving. He needs to cover the whole table, everywhere. He's moving a lot. But that ball takes a long time to go to the other side. And the other guy that always play fast here, he's like, that takes them down to the zone. That's why you see most part of them, when they play like a top player, when plays against a defensive players, they are like in between the points, they're moving. And they keep pushing, because if they slow down a little bit, they're not performing their zone, the other one's gonna win. And all of this is mental training. So you need to be prepared to do those things. For table tennis, there's no mental training without tactics, without strategy. Because everything needs to be what you are. You're gonna play what you know, you're gonna play what you are as a person. So that's why it's very important to invest always in play. Understand your play. We said in the beginning here, not everybody was together here, but we say a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So if you have like we analyze, somebody's going to receive the short serve like this. You know there's a problem with balance. The body's not equalized. He cannot come back fast. So if somebody goes like this to receive, you don't need to think too much. Next ball, push long here. Because until it comes back and he's gonna push back to you, probably a high ball, and then just attack and finish. So footwork has a problem, but to get to those points, you need to understand, you need to see the picture. But imagine the motion and everything. Now we're talking about a video. This is the real life. It's way more information you can grab from one single information. And what you're gonna do? You're going to analyze everything you see. In table tennis, it's very important to analyze your opponent's body language. Because we don't talk. I'm not talking to you, hey, I'm feeling good here, eh? I'm feeling good. You're in trouble. Or I'm like, oh, I'm sad, I missed my point. I don't know what we're going to do. We don't talk. But our bodies, they say everything. So we know that in neurolinguistics, if I come here and say, like this, listen to my words and see if it matches my body language. I'm so excited to be here today. We're going to have a very nice and very hard training. Everybody's going to be very happy, a lot of energy, and we're going to win. Do you believe what I said? Impossible. You're going to say something is wrong. That doesn't match. So that's exactly what I need to analyze in the other side. Everything. Every single player, they have tells. They have things that you can pick up on. You give away information, you get away information. For example, one of the biggest guys like Waldner, for example, he's like normally you don't read much information about him, but every time he was in big trouble, how do we know that he was in trouble? There was a little sock that he was always grabbing around, and you can analyze, you can see. Some of the players, they have 4 or 5 things. Like they look down, or they miss a point, and the first reaction, like for a player that's made a mistake that's really bad against him, that he's okay, the guy found my point, like did something, and then they look down, first clue, that's a good spot. If they look up, frustration. So it may happen again, but it's still like, it was a mistake there. Continue analyzing. See, try again, see if it's true. But you can see in the body language, like how they react, how you're gonna keep playing after, because everything is in there. You can see in the body language. I come, like even this is part of the game too. Like you're seeing the body language, like they are gonna play the ball cross. How do I know that the guy is gonna play the ball cross? First of all, you're not seeing, but my foot here is going straight inside the table here, right? Which makes my hip not turn. So if I look at my hip here, my hip is not turning, so it means that I'm gonna go with my arm like this. And the only possible angle safe that I can play a technique here is cross. Because my shoulder is pointing there and so on. If I try to do something funny, that ball is gonna go different. So a player that's prepared to cover these things, what he's gonna do? He's gonna open the leg a little bit, the hip changes, the elbow goes, now I'm facing the whole table, you don't know where I'm playing. That's harder to track. So as you yourself analyzing the other side, see where the angles point. See the little things. See the hip, see the elbow, see the shoulder, see the head sometimes, see the eyes. Because the first thing, like when I'm going to receive, I'm looking there and track the ball. Track the eyes. Okay? That's the point. Like, if everybody knows the tricks, what's going to happen now? You see, these guys, the top players, they could be Hollywood Oscar winners, because then comes acting. Because the guy is gonna fake, he's gonna go there like and put in the other side on purpose, or he's gonna go or he fakes that, oh, that ball was not good, that was not good for me, you play that again, you got smoked. So then comes like the next level. So all these top players, if you imagine them, they don't have problems with technique. They play the ball on the table, they do everything. Then comes a game of minds. Who can act better? Who is a better actor? Never let them see you bleed. Yes. Oh, that ball was hard for me. Keep smiling. Or keep, yeah man, let's go. You need to hide. You need to hide the problem. Because you're in the middle of the game. You cannot do anything now. Can you correct the technique? Can you hide the problem? Nah? How you hide? Normally you just put the lights towards something else. Then they're gonna see just what you're pointing, right? So you're gonna be a magician at that point. Like point, like when the hands are faster than the eyes. So you point normally when you guys like showing the hand here, he's gonna do the magic is happening the other side. And then when it comes back, boom, there you go. So the same thing, you need to kind of, when you are in a high performance, you need to deceive. And be ready to be deceived, because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be acting game. But in the beginning, it's very important to make sure that you understand that all of those things are connected with tactics and so on. We're not even talking about much technique. We talk about technique because it's body language. You need to see we're not analyzing if the technique is correct or not. We're just using that to get information. So when you start to look at the other side in this way, things change a lot. You're going to start to get ready for the next ball. You're going to start to get ready for a number of different strategies that you can reduce. Because table tennis, there's so many things that can happen. So many things can happen. If you can reduce to maybe 8 or 9 possibilities that the other side is going to use, then you're on top of something. Then you maximize your game a lot. Because before there's like 100 different actions in the other side and you are waiting. When you start to analyze those things, you're just going to see sometimes 4, even easier. And depends how you're playing. You play that ball with a very good quality. You know that you played well that ball, man, for sure you gotta have like 3 chances to play that ball well. And inside those 3 chances is going to be 2 of them here. Anticipate that ball. And build your trainings based on that. And that's what I really capitalize a lot with my players before. Sometimes my players, they didn't look like they were always strong physically, but sometimes they didn't have a lot of consistency technically. What is that? Like if it goes to a very long rally, my player probably would lose. So what do? Win the war before. Win inside, in the small things. Oh, the guy has a big forehand. Oh, imagine I'm going to play in his forehand. No. We hide. We put something else in the way, then it can maximize, you can get the potential that you can get. Right? Because everybody's about, like, there's a lot of players, like maybe you are one yourself that like to play a very big forehand, a very big backhand, and that's exciting. But those win may be a point, but not the game. You need to win 11 of those to get 1 game. Right? 1 set. To finish the whole thing, you need to win 4, 3, depends on the student. That's a lot of requirement. That's why I'm saying you got to be ready to use other techniques. Okay? So, that said, let's get a little bit more practical about things. This is more like theory and so on. But let's analyze in a situation that, for example, I'm playing here, I know I did my preparation, I'm good technically, I'm fine, physically I'm okay, I'm playing now. Right? So, what we discussed in the beginning, when I'm playing, how much time I spend playing the point? In seconds? 4 or 5? Maybe 8, one is very long. And then I spend like 3 times that amount or more picking up the ball. Right? So, let's just start with like sometimes we see people saying, oh, that guy is missing because he's not concentrated. He's not focused. So that's the first myth we need to take away. Like, we are always concentrated. We are always focused in something. What is the problem? We are not focused in the right thing. So one of the first things that we need to do is, like, as a table tennis players, we need to eliminate distractions. You need to feed your focus. Starve your distractions. What is a distraction? For example, maybe the crowd, maybe somebody talking, maybe the umpire can be a distraction, because he's going to say something, you're going to look at the guy and forget about the game. And that happens a lot in all the sports. referee is complicated, right? And maybe the guy is doing something different there, like maybe the guy is gonna look at you like and complain, or you know, sometimes I have been in games the guy swears at you to try, or he keeps like with trash talk. You go like to dry your hand or get the towel, and the guy, yeah, stupid, I'm gonna lose now. And be nice. The trash talk is violent. Takes you out of, to take you out of the game. So that's what I'm saying. Like when you pay attention to that, now you are focusing his words and what he's saying. So you're not focusing where you need to be in the game. That's what I'm saying. Like every time. And believe me, you're not a Superman, you're not a superhero, you are going to lose your concentration in the game. You are going to do it. How to refocus, that's the important thing. Right? So focus, yes, keep as long as you can the focus. But then you need to refocus. When you lose a little bit, that's what we're going to discuss a little bit. So one of the strategies that I use with my players, when they're focusing something, I see that they lost the focus. If I have a timeout, sometimes it's just not about the emotional part of the game, like they missed that ball that was important, or the guy's coming back from behind and is locking the game, or something is getting too much momentum, his zone is getting too comfortable, you need to break that wave. What do you do? Timeout. Then you have a time, 1 minute, to talk to the player. But what if you don't? You still have like about close to 20 to 30 seconds where you're picking up the ball. So let's analyze the situation. If I won the point, I did well, I won the point, what do you think you're going to do? How are you going to think when you're going to pick up the ball now?
Positive.
Positive, that's the first thing, yeah. Reinforcing, positive, yes, I did it, yeah, okay, let's go pick up the ball, and so on. What I tell my players, in the way to pick up the ball, or the other guy picking up the ball, reinforce. Yeah, that was good, that happened, so on. Now, what am I gonna do next? Or, what is he gonna do next? How long it takes for me to concentrate and to get that information? Remember the example? 2 seconds, and you had like so many words, that's gonna take you like, I hope like 3 minutes to talk about my facial expressions. So the same thing here, you have like in 2 or 3 seconds, maybe 5 seconds, you can organize a whole strategy and say, okay, if I serve there now, or if your coach already said to you, you're gonna serve like this, and say, okay, that ball can come like this, can come like that, and so on. Okay. Think about the strategy. If you have time, repeat it. And then when you get to the table, what do you do again? You get in the zone. Yeah. Positive? Yes, good. Let's crack the nut. Now what happens? I lost a point. What happens to us when we lose a point?
Negative.
Negative right away, right? You got mad. Your body language shows, eh? Sometimes you, when in extreme cases, you throw the racket, you kick the ball, you kick the barriers. When you get to that point, you are completely out of control. So you need to regain control again. So you need to have a intervention. You need to stop. If you get to that point, you cannot perform anymore. You are way too aggravated. You are beyond, you're not in your zone. Like if you have like a panel, like it looks like you're flying a jet, and then there should be like a red lights everywhere. Bam, bam, warning, warning, warning. Don't do this, don't do this. Just stop. Right? So we want to be prepared to not get to that point, to get so mad that we don't think anymore properly, or take like bad decisions because of that. So what we're going to do is like, when the first thing is hard to do that, but the thing is, when that point is over, you cannot come back anymore. The only thing you can do with that point is analyze it, learn from it. There's nothing anymore you can do. You cannot come back on time and change it. What you can change is the next one, your actions. So I missed that point. How I'm gonna do? Normally, If it's not in a very extreme situation, I'm going to talk about the extreme situations a little bit later. If it's just during the point, normal. What is an extreme situation? I'm just saying now. When you lose 3 points in a row, for example, that's a bad situation. Doesn't matter how much you're winning. That's a bad streak. Something is going terribly wrong. Losing 1 point, okay. 2 points in a row, yellow light. Warning, there's something wrong. 3 points in a row, you need to change something drastic because it was either 1 or 2 points in your service, and for sure 1 point or 2 points on the other one's service. So it's just not, oh, the guy's service is too good, I lost 2 points in his serve. Now, like, maybe you lost 2 points in his serve and you lost 1 in yours. So you need to stop it. Something, many times, doesn't matter where it is, I call a timeout in these situations for some of the players. If I don't have a timeout anymore, right, then we need to, I use different strategies for the kids to refocus, like the athletes. For example, there's always somewhere in the gym, when you come in the gym, there's always something that it can look like calls your attention. Like, for example, it's a strategy. You're gonna look, for example, the camera. So everybody look at the camera. So the camera is like in that corner. So what I do here, I miss my point. It's a very stressful situation. I don't have a timeout and so on. You know what? I look at the camera, or I tell my player, look at the dot, or something that we already identified in the gym that day. That's the strategy they use. Look at there and refocus. What are you going to do? You're going to clean your mind of the bad things, the negative stuff, and try to build up a little bit more positive things. Take your time. Think about what's going to happen. If the ball comes there again, it comes the same way. What are you going to do now that's going to be different? It's going to get you on track. What are you going to do now? Like, to change that. If you do the same thing that you did, you're most likely going to lose again. That's Einstein's definition for insanity, is doing the same things all over again and think that the results are going to be different. No, you need to change. If a ball comes there, okay, I need to do something different. Sometimes even radical, like something that the other one is not, oh, he's going to play long to the forehand. But it's a strong weapon the guy has. But he's waiting for the other option. Sometimes it gets the guy in surprise. Okay, but think again and refocus. Now let's talk about the biological aspects of this. Because we're talking about brain, we're talking about this, but how much, you have no idea how many hormones we produce in different parts of the body that controls our emotions. And the brain that gives the charge to all of this. What happens? When we're winning, we're feeling good, we're getting some, like adrenaline there, you get like excited, and you have like some endorphins, like you're getting good, you know? Ah, nice. Ooh, I'm feeling it. I'm in the flow, right? But when things go down, you have a different. There's different hormones that comes in your bloodstream, and they're gonna depress you. They're gonna put you down. And sometimes it takes like a little bit over than 30 seconds to clean that. Depends on our physical condition. That comes to the physical condition too. Like if you have a very good VO2 max, a high aerobic capacity, it means you're going running. It means like your heart can pump a very good amount of blood very quick throughout your body. It means it can clean very quick those hormones. When you make the stop and change your mind. Sometimes you don't have enough time. So you need to keep yourself a strategy for this, because maybe the next point is going to be dangerous too, until you recover completely. Because we see there's a lot of players that when they are in a bad situation, they're like so down, and the next one they lose again, and they keep going down, keep it going down, going down. Looks like there's no end to that spiral. Mentally, we say that they're finished, right? We see mentally, guy is not stable, and so that's why you need to break. If you keep feeding the bad hormones to keep coming back, they're gonna keep in your bloodstream. They're gonna keep depressing you, taking you down, right? You don't need noradrenaline, not those dopamines, those kind of things going down you. We don't need to go like very big names for those things, but they're there. So you need to clean that away and let like nice hormones come. And sometimes take a little while. Maybe you're gambling with next point too. Because, and I say sometimes to my players, like if that is the case, if you need a bit more time, then get more time. Oh, but the umpire is going to give me a yellow card. Yeah, let him give you a yellow card. As long as you don't focus in the yellow card. You focus on the game. And you see, like, there's a lot of players, like you see, like the guy is in trouble, especially young players, and that's one of the coaches that when they're stabilizing, you see like a Harimoto already did that one. He stops and goes tie the shoes. Sometimes they tie both shoes. And the other guy's, now the other guy's mad. Hey, umpire, you cannot do that. What? Huh? Oh, sorry. Right? Table tennis, there's a lot of fair play. It's like everybody see ball touch, everybody says. Everybody, ball touch, don't touch. Yeah. Everybody's honest about it. But there's the other stuff too, like people like this, they breaking the other guy's rhythm with that, or coming too fast and serving right away. You can play with those things to try to get the other guy out of the game. So there's a lot of different music, let's say, you can play. You understand? That's very interesting. So, coming back to these strategies. When you win the point, positive. Go there, reinforce. Yes, that's it. Good. Hormones keeping good. Come back to the table with strategy. Focus. Where's my focus now? Like that, what's going to happen? And then prepare. Activate. I am in the zone, aerobic zone. Not too excited, not too depressed. I'm fine. I'm in control. Let's go. I lost my point. First thing that comes to mind is negative, right? So right away, try to clean up. No, let's kick this out. Try to move. Because everybody, you have like a negative feeling or something, and the first thing you do is stop. Your shoulders go down. You look down, or you like, your posture is clear. That you took a hit, right? You see, mental health these days is very important, right? And then everybody's talking about it. So if you have an opportunity to talk or to call to see how it works, I hope that you don't call in a despair situation, but if you call a suicide line, for example, first thing the person is going to tell you, like, where are you? Stand up, look up. So not go inside yourself, not go feed that negative feeling. Stand up, look up. What's in the ceiling? What do you see? They're going to ask some things like what you're saying, like to take your mind away from until like you get help. It's a band-aid situation, but in the game you can do the same thing. Like when you're there, like you got the hit, don't get your shoulders in. Don't like, oh man, or oh, now I'm mad. Now for sure the other guy is happy. For sure he's happy. Because now you're pissed. Now the other guy is happy. Now he's going to keep doing that. Okay, it's working. Yeah, and then he's going to start to scream in our face and scream more and so on. Why? Because it's natural. His instincts that make you feel bad about yourself. Then you cannot perform, then he wins. You understand? That's how it is. Unfortunately, when you're playing, it's like playing brain against brain. That's why sometimes not the best one with the best technique or the best style, the best fitness wins. The one with better emotional intelligence to hold these things. You understand? Okay, so try to go there. First thing is, try, if it's not too serious yet, so shake it off. Let's move, keep going, and so on. Go pick it up the ball, and then when you come back, same thing. Like try to, okay, you're shaking off, you're moving, you wake up. Okay, if he plays that again, what am I going to do? What are my options now? Okay, so you're gonna try something different, because if you play the same thing, probably the guy is gonna succeed again. So you're gonna try something different. The guy wins the point again. Now it's 2 points. like alarm, okay. So I need to do something different. This is not exact. Now it's my serve, or maybe it's the guy's first serve. So what you guys, oh, I'm gonna try to mask my problem. The guys serve, I'm gonna flip it. Because maybe you guys are gonna find that you have a problem in your short forehand. How you mask that? When the guys serve, like even if you know you're not going to make the point, you attack. And the guy is gonna be not sure, but there was a problem there, but now the guy is attacking that ball. How is it possible? He's gonna be thinking twice, right? You can fool them a little bit with that. If ball goes on the table, you have a very big chance to win that point and break the strike, right? If you lose that point, now you need to intervene seriously. You need to look your dot, find a spot in the gym, or sometimes you look at your coach, if you have a coach or a teammate, and you know, like you're looking at him and you're seeing, but you're looking just that general direction. You're not really focusing in features or anything like that, because you want to come back to your center again. It takes like 30 seconds to clean your bad hormones from your body. So you need to have that time and work for it. So if you analyze, I don't know how many of you like had that feeling before, like you had an important meeting or you're in a game or something happens like out of nothing, like you're not expecting, and then you feel the butterflies fly in your stomach, right? You feel like that cold shiver in your spine, something like that, right? So what happens is, when that happens, is your body giving you, your brain said, I didn't like that. So I'm telling you what I think this is, what it is. It's a survival mechanism. Your brain is going to tell, like, if you are seeing a bear that's coming towards you, like from far, you have still a chance to escape, and see what is going to happen. Right away, your brain is going to inject a lot of hormones that's going to make all the blood from your organs, even from your brain itself, to go straight to your muscles, to extremities, to facilitate flight, to run away from the danger, right? So it happens all the time. The first thing is like, or imagine, for example, you see a lot, like in movies, a deer, like there's an animal hunting the deer. Then the deer hears a noise. First thing he does, ears, eyes, very well. That's the first symptom of fear. I'm afraid. If you see the other guy, when you do something, the guy looks like stunned. Start to look to the sides. Eyes open. He's in fear. Right? You know what he's going to do? Serve very quick. Again. Short pace. He's in fear. Because right now what's going to happen is, he's like in fear. What happens? Your brain is going to say, your brain actually, because it's inside the skull here, doesn't understand if you're really in danger or not. It's going to react like the primitive instinct. It's going to try to take you out of the situation. It's going to put a lot of blood, a lot of power in your legs and your arms. You need to defend, you need to run. Are you going to be able to do short feeling with that amount of energy in your... No. So that's what I'm saying. Are you be able to control the ball? No. You're going to be tense? Yes. Are you going to be relaxed? Oh, yeah. There's a bear running after you. You're going to be relaxed. Okay. I don't think so. That's what I'm saying. Like, when that happens, and happens in real life, like sometimes you're just like, your boss calls you in the office and I need to talk to you. Like, hits you in the face. Like, what happened? Maybe it's not bad, but how he says, you see his body language, you get fearful. Right? It's okay. But you need to get out of that. If you don't get out of that, you're going to take bad decisions. Especially in table tennis. I saw many times players leading, comfortable, like fighting. The guy's coming back, 6-9. He's coming back, 10-10. But he was leading 10 to finish, right? And then the guy matches. My player or the other player, it's like, If I have a timeout, I'm taking the timeout. If I don't have a timeout, I'm saying, okay, refocus. Right now, you need to clean out this. This is a very bad situation. Because if the guy serves short, you're probably going to receive long. If the guy serves long, right, then probably it's going to be good for you because you activate, you have a power like to attack the ball. So, but if the guy serves like no spin short or anything, you're doomed because you cannot control the ball. Because of this kind of problems. And it happens to everybody. You can play, you can go and practice and play as much as relaxed as you are. When you're in the game, things change a little bit, get more tense. So I will tell you, I always tell my players this, you should try to play, you should try to play as you practice, and practice as you play. You shouldn't have a big gap. Why? Because if you have a very big gap in between, so when you are playing, it's a completely different thing. You're not prepared for that situation. You're not mentally prepared for that kind of structure that's required from you. So I was coaching Dmitry Ovcharov, like the guy that gave that shirt there for the club. And I was with him in the German National Training Center. He was coaching, and it was a very good example. Because he's like, okay, like every time he was going to play, training, eh? And then he started blocking. He plays as he goes to the game. He does exactly the same face and so on. And I'm trying to tell my players all the time. And then I came to him and said, "Can you?" Like I said, I want to tell my players exactly what you're doing, but can you tell me what you think when you're doing that? So that's my mental training. Every single ball, I fight for my life with the ball. I don't waste any ball, any point. Because if I do that here in training, I'm going to do it in the game. So that's how it is. Sometimes it doesn't look like a lot of fun being under pressure that much, right? But remember, it's like this. Start, 4, 5 seconds, 8 seconds. Still thinking about focus, but now the intensity changes. It's different. You're still focused, but it can be 100% intense. You can be 60%. Now we have a lot of stamina to keep going. Why I say that? Because what happens is, let's say when I was a kid, I was going to the supermarket. There was like 500 different kind of items to choose. There's like 1 or 2 different kind of yogurts. There's like 3 or 4 kind of different pastas and stuff like that. Now I go to the supermarket. There's 5,000, and I go to the yogurt fridge. I'm like, my goodness. It's like there's like hundreds of types to choose from. And you know what? Our options to choose stuff, they increase exponentially every day. But our mental power continues the same. From 40 years ago to now, we have the same amount of stamina. But now we have more choices every single day to choose. It makes you more tired and more tired and more tired and more hard to focus. So if you have a problem in focusing, okay, I cannot focus, this is too much. It's because maybe you are having too much distractions, too much choices, too many different things. Shrink a little bit those distractions, you're going to have more mental power to come to the table. And that's how you do it. Sometimes, like, then you can, if you decide to play for 1 hour, but 1 hour completely focused, it's going to be way better than a week playing 3 hours a day without having too much focus. 1 hour with a lot of focus. Like, just change your intensity. Like, because you're not Superman, but you can keep like, okay, intense now during the point, okay, get out a little bit, 60%, still thinking about and going. Because you're just going to do that in the game if you do it in practice. That's the secret. you're just gonna be able to do everything that I said to you in the game if you do this on the practice, on the gym, like before you get there. Make sense? Because there's no shortcut for that. Okay? So, those are one of the tricks that I use to improve the mental aspects for our players. And believe me, it works for all the players. From beginner level to the top end, to the top, the Olympic finals. It works exactly like that. The difference is like, in all the cases, from the beginning to the end, it's brain against brain. What changes? Maybe it's a little bit of technique, the physical aspects and so on, but it's still brain against brain. So invest a lot of time in your mental condition and prepare and find routines, especially routines that you can write down and say, if I do this, that's what's going to happen. Then situations that you always feel like at home, you feel like you are prepared for those kind of sets of different things. If my routine is to serve long with a lot of left side spin that side, of course, you can catch right away that ball is never going to bounce short in your forehand. It may come long here, but not most part of the time. That ball is going to come half table here for you to do something. You can take it out of your options that is going to be short in your left. So then it starts to, the table tennis, it starts to get small. You see, for example, like those players, like let's say Dmitry Ovcharov. I know Dmitry, I saw him playing for the first time when he was 13 years old in Genting in Malaysia in 2001 actually. So then he's like doing the same serve that he does. Like, he was not very effective at that time, but he kept using the same routines, kept improving. So then it comes a point that you can get really control of everything, all the different variants, and then everything shrinks. He knows that he served that ball here in that corner. He knows that the guys are going to do either flip here long, or somebody's going to push like with that flip here in the back end, he's covering, or somebody's going to play half mid to the middle. He has 3 options, and he trains that non-stop. He knows that ball is going to come like, he trains that. And for years, you're going to find a serve. Everybody has a different weapon that somebody else doesn't like much. You're going to see, you're going to do something, oh, I feel very good with this. And sometimes when you feel very good about it, it's something the other side doesn't feel very good about it. So it's good for you. But have like 2 or 3 options that you train a lot. And you know everything that's going to happen about it. Your game that's in here improves like that. In the rating system, if you're playing like, okay, I'm playing like at 2000, but you want to start to specialize like this, you're going to go to very quick to 2500. It's very quick to improve. Okay? Make sense? So that's a little bit about the general aspects of everything. Questions?
So if you're in a very frustrating situation,
yeah.
Okay, what, if any, advantages there to pick a ball or whatever, throw a racket maybe at somebody, get it out of your system and then focus?
Okay, there's a few studies that people like about. One of the studies talks about using punching bags, for example, like to try to, when you're in a rage, so you go in and punch the bag like to try to release that rage and so on. Most part of this, and they take the blood test to see what happens because they're going to compare the hormones. And in most part of the cases, like 99.9%, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because you get more irritated, you produce some more bad stuff, you keep going. Like you're going to get physically tired, but you're not going to get in control of the situation. So the other option is it looks like you need to find a way to breathe. You need to find a way like to look at the point and stop and breathe. You need to get oxygen up here. Let's do, everybody, let's do a very simple exercise. You're gonna like this. Let's just stand up a little bit. Shake your hands, like very, very relaxed. And now we're gonna do like breathing in fours. You're gonna take in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4. 3, 4. Exhale in 4. Again. Again. One more time. Who felt some tingling in head? Like a little bit like something, or a little bit like bright something? Nothing? So that's normally when your oxygen hits. So now you're like more prepared. And right away, when you do like this exercise, very simple. 4 times, 4 seconds, breathing in, stop, breathing out. CEOs, now you can sit please. CEOs from companies, when they are in despair and so on, they go outside, that's one of the first things that they're trained to do. Now they have like this other, well, how they call those guys? Life coaches. Yeah, then they go there and work with them in more specific ways. But you can do this. You can just like stop a little bit, breathe a little bit, or even just like going deeper in the game. You're not going to have time to do that. But make like 4 times. Like push this low now. Okay, push this low. If you see you can control a little bit already, because as soon as you do the first time, everything is already gonna take like 10%. A second time, another 10%. If you do like 4 times, you may be gonna be too calm. But if you give in and kick the ball, or believe me, sometimes it happens. You get frustrated. It's normal. You're human. But after that happens, try to control yourself. Because it means it happened, you just expressed what is inside in a physical action. It means I am out of control. Dow, kick the ball, toss the racket. Umpire, you suck. Now control. Now let's refocus. Make sense?
Yes, that was actually my question.
Yeah.
You know, getting that out so you can now focus.
When it gets to that point, it means like you already had a fall. You lost the control. So you need to refocus anyways. If you keep going that road, you're not going to gain control, and it's going to be like a landslide. So if that happens, so we don't notice sometimes, especially if you don't have coaches behind us to tell this, so you don't notice. So then you just notice after you kick the ball, oh man, what have I done? Stop dwelling it, refocus. You refocus. Ideally, it should not happen. You lose your temper, you lose your control. Because if you're losing your temper, you're losing your control, the other side is winning. That's always like that. Don't lose your control. Oh, it's impossible. I know it's very hard. It's very hard. Yes, Steve?
The question just came to me. There's a player that beats me in tournaments, and when he does, he gives me a compliment.
But that's what I'm saying, like, that's a distraction. That's a distraction. So what do you do? Like, the guy, like, I played against people, like, during the point, the guy sending me kisses. I want to go there and punch the guy, right? I want to punch the guy, right? But it's the same thing, but that's a distraction. If I do that, I'm not focusing on what is important. What is important? See where that ball is coming. See what kind of information he's giving me. What the important thing is, like, when he gives you a compliment, sure, refocus. Yeah. You see, you're not going to be like, you know, like, you don't need to.
I should say, like, your breath stinks.
No, it's going to say, hey, nice ball, man, well played, but you know that it's sarcastic.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to say to you, like, hey, man, very good play, very good. Do you believe that? No. I'm not saying this for real. I'm saying to irritate you. I don't think it was very good. Right? My voice, everything is saying no. So just eliminate the distraction. Again, repeat to yourself, feed your focus. Starve your distractions. Feed your focus. Right? Then make sure that your focus just changes the intensity. Very intense when you go there, and then when you're picking up the ball and stuff and so on, it'll be lighter. Because now there's more things to pay attention to. If you're just focusing the other side, you're going to pick up the ball, going to trip and fall and hit the head or something. But to maximize your mental aspects, always change the intensity of your focus. Very intense, a little bit less intense. Very intense, less intense. And don't fall for the traps. Those are traps. Or the guy misses a ball and then he jumps in the wall, or he makes a scene or stuff like. Don't fall for that. There's a lot of players that they do that on purpose. They go, there's nothing happened, and then they go. Then the umpire said, the guy goes and starts to discuss with the umpire. There's nothing. He's going to talk to the guy, or he's going to say, "Wow, the coach is saying something here." Like what? Distraction. He's just trying to take you out of your track because you are making some damage. Because the guy is trying everything possible to take you out. So don't fall for that. That's a trick. That's a trap. Don't fall for the trap. Okay? Make sense?
How do we distract?
Oh, you can do everything. Like I'm playing with you. Yeah. Silly kiss. You know? And then I would say, or you play a ball. Oh, that was not too hard. It's not illegal, but trash talk, like, or like, look at the guy. So all those things, I can take them off. Anything, like the guy like is jumping, like the guy's hey, you're like the guy's gonna be mad. It's very easy to irritate the other guy. It's very easy. But the thing is, when you're doing that too, where is your focus? Your focusing is in distracting the guy. So you're not focusing on table tennis. So just like if the guy is irritating you and so on, you can keep your focus in action goes. Sometimes, like when it's too much, the point would be like not fair play anymore. So okay, I'm gonna stop with your racket there. Like, you know what? I will tell you like a secret that sometimes happens. Because one of the things that we do in my players, like preparing for the training, one exercise we do, we're gonna do like this. We put a circle. We imagine a circle in the ground. That's mental training. Like, so we're gonna put everything that's in there, like that's good. Courage, everything that's positive, winning, like hero. We're gonna feel good, all the good feelings. Imagine like cheering in front of a crowd, like 4,000 people or 20,000 people in the gym, like cheering you when you win. I put that inside, that good feeling. All like the goosebumps and so on. That's your circle, that's your power circle. Now come inside a circle and go play. So now, when you're here, leave your circle there and go talk to the umpire. Oh man, this is not very what's happening, so on. And as soon as you make your plead, don't lose your mind and so on. Refocus, get inside your circle. Power again, let's go. Focus. If that gets too extreme, because normally when I have a coach, I tell my players, is when something is like beyond to be fair, I will get the fight. I will fight for you. You keep focused. I will fight for you. That's my fight. Because if the guy is not being, I will go to the umpire and say, man, hey, something's happening here. And I go with my body language too. I'm going to show him that I'm not happy. And when I'm not happy, you see in my face that I'm not happy. I make sure you see my body language. That is undeniable that I'm not happy. So if you know me for a little while, maybe you already saw me unhappy. But I wish you don't. But the thing is, that's how I'm going to go there, and my player keep focused, keep concentrated. That's how it is. But again, I would encourage you to not like try to find a ways outside. But people, when they do that, they're not tracking you as well. They're very hard, like they're trying to win the game without seeing the game. They're trying to defeat you, not in the table, but outside. So you're going to defeat them inside the table, because they're not focused on those things, the variations, right? And those things that I said, like the circle, for example, is just one of the things. I like it. Sometimes I say to my players, especially they're young, I said, you know what? Be the superhero. Like, put yourself your Iron Man suit and go play. Be the hero. Put your Superman cape and go there, man. You know, that's how it is, how it works. You need to create the exercise to do that. Like many times before the training and after the training, I use like music to do that. I got a calm music, the people they don't know much, they cannot follow and then I go and do like a mental training with them. I know how the music is going to have the crescendo and how it's going to be and so on. Then I'm going to with visualization, imagination training. That's very important. Now you're going to imagine they're playing this ball like this, in that situation, that current. Because again, it's very easy to trick your brain. Your brain, actually, it's inside your head, your skull here. It doesn't really have any contact with the outside. So when you create a mental image of something that's so strong, your brain doesn't know the difference. It stores in the memory area of your brain as if it really happened. That's one of the secrets of the mental training. So we make the training in such a way that they can experience so strong that sensation with the music. And why I use music? Because music uses more parts of the brain. And I'm talking, then have the audition, then I use the emotions. I change my pitch and my voice. I go faster, I change the modulation. Then I make sure like when it gets to that point of the music, like the player's winning and everything's happening. Players, they cry, some of them they goosebumps. It's like many different reactions. But you know, that comes to their memory, to their brain, like remember that really happened. One day they're in a situation that they need to invoke this, because it's very hard for us to get to that situation that we're going to be the hero. It doesn't happen all the time, right? So then when we get there, like most part of us are not going to succeed because we're not ready. But if you prepare day by day, like we're building a gym, each block winner experiences, mental experience, reinforcements, and so on. Every time that something negative happens, you're taking a block away. But when you make like good winning experience, you make like a very strong building, strong foundations. And then when you get that point, all of those are memories. They already passed to that. So for us, sometimes we don't have a lot of money to go play tournaments everywhere, in US or Europe or whatever. We don't have that condition, but we can do a lot of things inside our head, right? So one day, like when everybody's ready, I will show you how to make like a visualization, imagination training with music. Put in music, you're gonna cut the lights, you're gonna see how it is. So when you get out of that, man, you're ready. Oh yeah, come on, give me the ball. Give me the ball, let's do it. You know? Because changes really. And remember, memory, it's a dynamic thing. Memory is always attached to your emotions. For example, if I'm sad, maybe it's a very gloomy day outside, like yesterday it was raining all the time or stuff, like the day before yesterday it was a sad day and so on. And then I remember that my father died. I would probably share, like I would cry, because that everything. But I'm my friends and so on. I'm having like a beer and talking about everybody's seeing football and so on. By the way, my father died, and I'm laughing. Well, the memory is there. My father died. That's a fact. But how you remember that is different. So that's why you need to always watch your mental aspects, because how you feel inside changes that memory. So that's just not creating memory there, but every time you recall a memory, make sure you're recalling in the right situations. Right? Happy, pushing, fight, like active, to get you in the zone. That's how it is. Make sense? I know I talk too much, but more questions?
Maybe if there's more questions, we got more.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. So again, like I would encourage every one of you to start to my first step would start to see routines that you can really check and apply and cover better to maximize your mental strength. So instead of to wait for every single ball to return to you, make sure like you're serving such a way that balls and people that are going to receive to you in 3 or 4 different ways. Then you can prepare specific for that. Then you get stronger. Because when you're stronger technically, you're not missing. You don't need to pay attention to yourself. You just pay attention to where the information is, what the other side is doing. Pay attention to everything. Angles, facial expressions, where they're looking. Look down, look up. The only sense that we're not going to use in table tennis actually is smell. We're not going to see if the guy, unless the situation is very bad there. Yeah. But everything else we're going to hear, we're going to see, we're going to feel like what's happening there. So you can really, really get a lot of information and work on that. And then concentration, focus, intensity or focus. Make sure like you can be intense, take a little bit, but intense to preserve your mental energy. And routines, I win the point, what I do. I lose the point, what I do. How do I refocus? When is I need to stop everything? And changes, eh? Believe me, this thing is dynamic. You cannot come to the gym today and say, I want to do exactly the same thing I did yesterday. It's going to work. No. No. You had a completely different day. You had a completely different day. Sometimes you're going to go play a tournament. You won the tournament. And next year come back to say, you do like, you're going to stay in the same hotel. I'm going to eat the same food. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. And then everything goes down the drain because it's a different situation. The world is spinning, every day is different. You need to adapt every day. Feed your focus, just starve your distractions, okay? Okay, thanks very much for having us. Thank you.